I just want to remind my colleagues, I'll be brief, but I want to remind my colleagues what we said just a few minutes or a couple hours ago when we voted on the Saylor amendment, that without this amendment, that bill is just a big tax increase. It's not property tax relief. The only way this bill becomes property tax relief is to put a control on the spending to keep the taxes from going back up in a year or two. With this amendment, we'll have true property tax relief. We'll have reduction and a mechanism to keep the taxes from going up. And I want to tell you that there's a good chance very few times will it ever go to referendum, because this is a great leverage point for school boards. Because if you're negotiating a contract and you're faced with a big raise, or you want to build a $100 million school, and you say, look, I've got to take this to referendum, it forces people to be more reasonable. Very few times is this ever going to make it to referendum. People are going to say, look, we've got to have, before we take this to referendum, we've got to make sure we have something that's very, very reasonable that the taxpayers will accept. It will give school boards the leverage they need to keep costs down. This whole thing's a real compromise for many of us, because many of us, as you know, are for total elimination. And we know we're not going to get that. That's not before us. So we're willing to compromise and go with this, what would be a partial relief, except with this amendment, we'll really make it property tax relief. This is really taxpayer protection. The people want this. The people need this. I think this is the right thing to do. And there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. So I ask you to please support the Knowles Amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.